This is another installment of the Large Guys Fight Bites. We're talking UFC 259, which will be happening this Saturday, March 6th, right? Correct? March
Yeah.
6th, yeah. And we've got, usually there's one or two headlining fights, but these three in the main event are huge mega fights on their own. But at the same time, like Kyle is going to say, there's a lot of good stuff on the main card, also in the prelims. This might be one of the most stacked cards of all time. And it's going to culminate with probably my favorite fighter right now, Israel Adesanya, taking on the light heavyweight champion, Jan Blachowicz of Poland. I'm excited for this. I've been, ever since the Usman fight ended, I've been looking forward to this one. And unfortunately, I was really busy today, so I haven't seen the press conference, and because I love seeing the mental game and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited to watch that, see the weigh-in tomorrow, and then see the fights. Kyle is going to run down the card. What do we have that intrigues you before the main events, the three main events, and then we will dive into the three huge fights.
All right. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's the MMA casual here, Kyle. I'm no expert, but I've been I be on the MMA boards and comment sections
You,
more
you
this
know more
past
than
year.
Stephen A. Smith.
Oh, for sure. Like it's just yeah, no, it's
No
just
more, you know
crazy.
more than Ariel Helwani, bro.
Nah. Ariel's the goat, bro. I love Ariel. But yeah, no, but yeah, for the main guys, it's just funny because you know when it comes to because you could give credibility to these the main famous sports anchors because when Stephen A and Max they talk about football, basketball, boxing. Like I respect their takes even though people think that it's still show business, and it is, but I think that they're still well versed, like
Yeah.
outside of just hot takes. But yeah, nah, MMA, like these dudes are for sure just they only watch when Connor fights for sure.
Yeah.
um but yeah, as you said, it is gonna be a stat card. Even I mean, I don't know many people in the early prelims, but I do know two fighters at least. I know in the light heavyweight division, Carlos Olberg. I just know it because I think he's one of Izzy's
Yeah.
teammates from City Kickboxing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Izzy said that he's going to be a light heavyweight champion in the future. So, and then Tim Elliott, he's a flyweight. I only know him because he's been fighting for a while. But other than that, I don't really know anybody else in the early prelims, and that starts at 5 p.m. Yeah, so I don't know. I'll just probably put that in the background. But in the prelim card, there's actually some names that are pretty good. Almost every fight has a household or notable name. I think the first fight will be a flyweight bout, and it's going to be Kai Kara France versus Rogerio Bontorin. I don't know Bontorin, but Kai Kara France,
For real.
he's also Izzy's teammate. But the one thing I know is that I think before the Costa card. I think he Kaikara France lost the last time he fought to Brandon Royval, but I think Royval came in overweight, so they were like that's kind of whack. But he's still a flyweight contender, Kaikara France, and I don't know if Bontorin is ranked. I only know the top five really in the flyweights, and then another flyweight. Okay, I guess do you want me to just run down like who I think will win in the prelims? Just because,
Yeah, real quick. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I'll probably just pick Kai Kara France because he needs a bounce back game.
Yeah.
But another the other flyweight bout I think it's next is Joseph Benavides. For you guys that don't know him, his last two fights. Don't I don't want to sell the guy short. He's been in the UFC for a long time. He gave Mighty Mouse Demetrius Johnson a run for his money back in the day and whatnot. But obviously, you're only as good as your last fights, and unfortunately, Benavides has been basically been murdered on live television by Davison Figueredo in his last two fights.
Yeah.
And I think,
Who's the champ, right?
Benavidez, I don't want to keep yeah, who's the flyweight champ
Yeah.
now? They were fighting for the vacant title. But, I don't want to kick a guy down while he's down, but um, I don't know. The guy he's facing, Askarov, he seems like a killer. And, Benavidez is kind of old, and this might be, a wrap, and it sucks. I mean, he could just take the dub because, he's married to Megan Olivy. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, Olivy, but she's really pretty, and she's a respected MMA reporter. So I guess he could just take that dub. But yeah, from the comment section, no one really be respecting Joey B's like that. But moving on to the bantamweight fight between Song Yadong and Kyler Phillips. I'm gonna just go with Song Yadong just because I'm not gonna lie, I'm always gonna choose for the most part somebody that could represent close to me. That's just how it is. But it varies on how I feel. Sometimes I'd be just rooting for random Americans as well. But for this one, I don't know much about either fighters, but yeah, I'll just pick Yadong.
Song did Song have a controversial win, right?
That's
His
what it
last fight.
says.
Oh shoot! I think I might have saw his last fight. Yeah, that might have been. Yeah, that was judges.
Yeah,
Judges
yeah,
be
yeah,
whack.
yeah. But he's still
But
legit.
yeah, so we'll see. But the biggest fight in the prelim card is obviously going to be the last one, which is Dominic Cruz versus Casey Kenny. I saw Casey Kenny fight last time. I forgot who he fought, but I think I'm not even gonna try to remember. But Casey Kenny, he ain't no scrub, and Dominic Cruz, he hasn't really fought much, uh, within the last 3 years, and all of them were really title fights. And I don't know how motivated he's gonna be at this age to fight somebody, like Casey Kenny. But Casey Kenny is an up and coming prospect. But I don't know. This might be a wrap for Cruz because I don't know what else he's trying to achieve in the sport. Maybe another bantamweight run. But as much as I want to say that, Cruz might head into early retirement. He's a veteran. I told Clint that Cruz might. I think it's 50-50, and I was leaning against Cruz, but it's still Dominic Cruz. He's still, a veteran of this sport, a world champion. So it's hard to pick against him. So I'm gonna just pick Cruz. Did y'all have any thing that excites y'all for the prelim cards? Any questions? I mean, I don't really know much about any of these contenders, but what do y'all think?
Yeah, mainly just the one that was just added, Song Yadong and Kyler Phillips. Sounds like it's going to be a really fun fight, and I mean, I think it says a lot. I think on most cards, even though Dominic Cruz hasn't fought much, even though his challenger may not be the most well known, he's usually on the main card, as one of the first fights. But I think it says a lot that he's in the prelims this time around. It might say a lot about how good the card is, but also like the fact that Dom has kind of gone down in his career.
Yeah, for sure. And then moving on to the main card. So this one, unfortunately, you gotta pay on pay-per-view.
Oh yeah, do you want to say a little story about how you bought the last pay-per-view?
Long story short, man, Uncle Dana out here always saying that he out there looking for the streamers. So I got scared when McGregor and Poirier, was about to fight, and I decided to, I'm gonna just hopefully get people to chip in, which they did to buy the fight, and I bought the fight. Long story short, man, they the ESPN Plus couldn't handle the Conor McGregor effect because I missed like half the card, but it's all good. We saw the co-main event and the main event, and that's all that matters. And plus, people pay me back, so I'm not tripping. But still, I'm not saying if I bought again after that, but I've seen every UFC fight since. So, and I'll probably just keep my fingers crossed again this weekend. I don't know. I'm not advocating anything illegal, but you know how it is. It's a tough time. And, Biden ain't, if he fulfilled his promise, I could afford UFC 259. But,
That's
funds
true.
funds are a little low. But anyways, getting to the main card, and the light heavyweight, every fight in the main card is a banger. Like
Mm,
it is big for whatever division they're in. Thiago Santos versus Alexander Rakic. I think Santos is number 4 and
okay.
Rakic is number 5. Let me double
He's
check the
he's on
UFC.
American Top Team with Nunes, I believe.
Santos, it says he's number 2. Is
Oh,
it?
Santos is number 2 for
That
the.
that does sound right.
I don't know because I get maybe what is Glover number 1? Is Teixeira number 1? Hold on.
Is this a like the winner of this fight? Are they gonna be the next contender to whoever wins the title?
I don't think so. Like that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's
That's
tough.
why I need to. Let me double check because
Well,
But
because
anyways, okay. So let's just say 2 and 4. I guess Rakic is 4. Is Rakic 4 or 5?
that's what it says on the website.
Okay. Well, what I was gonna say is Santos was a legit contender because he gave John Jones a run for his money, but ever since then he suffered like some bad losses. And notably, Santos got finished by Glover Teixeira his last fight because I was watching that, and I was shocked because that because Glover, he kind of old, but Glover out there, but personally, I think whoever wins, between Rakic and Santos, uh, who they'll need to fight another person,
Before
then they could contend.
Okay.
Maybe against Dominic Reyes again or something.
that would actually make sense. He's like a gatekeeper now.
Yeah. So I mean, he lost to the current champ. I don't think he's like a gatekeeper. I think he could still contend.
Well, I mean, like if you really want to like emerge as the next contender, if you beat him, that
Yeah, for
basically,
sure.
yeah.
But tough. Between the two, between Santos and Rakic, um, you know, Rakic got a big lower body, so he catches Santos with a kick, and that might be a wrap. And even some leg kicks, that might be his in his game plan. But both men can obviously grapple on the ground. Maybe Santos has the edge, because he Brazilian like that. But I don't know if we'll see some wrestling, but I don't know if these guys just want to it might be a change of pace, even though it's light heavyweight. I don't think these guys just want to keep swinging with each
Yeah,
other
it's
to the
tough.
fences, and so it's tough. When I was texting Clint, I told him that I pick Rakic over Santos, but maybe this could be Santos's, redemption back to being a legit contender. But I just have to go with Rakic because he's on a tear, while Santos is on a downslide. So, well, I mean, do y'all have any thoughts for that fight? Any questions? I don't.
I
I
don't know
mean, I'm
much about
not.
it, so
Yeah, my only question was if the winner was gonna be the next contender for the
No,
title.
I would say that who I think should deserve it is Glover Teixeira because he just beat Santos,
okay.
and so it wouldn't make sense. I mean, maybe if Rakic wins, he fights Glover, and then they could fight for whoever wins the title.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't know why my pound for pound ranking isn't loading. But for the next fight, let me see who's
Next
in.
fight, I'm excited for
Hold on a
Islam.
second. Yeah, it's Islam Makhachev versus Drew Dober.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm not even looking. I was just going on top, and I don't know if I think Dober might be. I don't know if he's ranked, but Makachev is ranked. He's just upper in the upper contender numbers. I don't know if I don't think Makachev. If he's cracked top 10, I think he might be right at 10, but I think he's only 13 or 14. And
Yeah.
obviously, um, everyone thinks that Islam is the next big prospect at lightweight because of Khabib, and Khabib's also going to be in the corner this weekend with Islam. But
That's what I heard.
Drew Dober out there, he ain't no scrub, and I don't want to sell. I also I don't ever want to sell fighters, any type of fighter short, especially, American fighters, because, I would like to see, American champion because it is my, residing country, but it's always just hard to see like dudes, growing up in tougher conditions losing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like even if let's just say Dober, who right now I described him to Clint as a guy with a Macklemore haircut but looks like an Abercrombie Fitch model. Like it's just hard to see him losing against, a Russian dude who, mauls people for a living. I don't know. I'm not selling Drew Dober short, but the hype on Islam is for reals.
Mhm.
And with Khabib being in this corner, it's kind of hard to bet against him. But at the same time, I ain't gonna be mad if an American wins. But obviously, my mind is just gonna tell me to pick Islam. But I'm excited. The only problem is that he hasn't fought in a while, so that'd be my only biggest concern. But other than that, it should be. I don't know. I don't see this fight going the distance though. If it does end, or however it ends. So,
Is this going to
oh,
be a more of a striking bout, or is it going to be on the ground?
well, Islam is a wrestler,
That's
obviously,
right.
but at this point in his career, when you compare him to Khabib, he's more willing to strike,
Right.
and he does have better hands naturally as of this moment. But I don't think they're gonna stick to plan and grapple and wrestle. I mean, why
Yeah.
else would you change plan? But I think if need be, Islam could throw it down. But Drew Dober, he's had some fights in him, and you don't ever want to count out anybody in the cage. So that one, I'm just glad. For the first two fights, in the light heavyweight and lightweight, I'm just glad I'm not emotionally invested in others. Did y'all have anything else to say and add questions to the Islam and
I'm
Dober
just
fight?
excited to see Islam fight again. Like you said,
Yeah.
it's been a while.
Yeah, so but the next one I'm excited for, and I'm personally invested in the bantamweight title bout. It's gonna be
Yeah, we got
between
three
Peter.
titles on
Yep.
the line
So the
this week.
first one that's gonna happen is the bantamweight title between Peter No Mercy on versus Aljamain Funkmaster Sterling. I I'm not gonna lie, it's not like I've been an Aljo fan my whole life. I mean, if I became a fan of these fighters, it was only within like the last year and a half at most. And I only like Aljo because I mean, it's not like I don't like Peter Yan. I like both of them. It's just for me, Aljo, Sterling's put in the work for me. He's been part of the UFC for a while. He's followed the footsteps of MMA legends like Matt Serra and
That's
John
Sarah.
Jones. Um, and ultimately, he's an American with Jamaican roots, but he's still an American right now, and so obviously I want another American champion. Um, but Peter Yan is a savage, and with him being a former boxer, obviously, so this is going to be the most two the styles that are like
Different.
polar opposites
Yeah.
because
classic.
Sterling is straight up a wrestler
Mhm.
and Jan's a boxer, and so I don't even know if Sterling's really ever knocked out somebody like that, but he is a grappling machine, like so. And I don't, and from what Sterling has been saying, he's gonna try to do like what Khabib did and and follow father's plan. So
Yeah.
he's just gonna try to do what he's best at, which is wrestling and grappling, and try to get Jan to submit. My biggest worry is if Jan catches him with one hook, that's a wrap because
Yeah.
Jan ain't no joke and he be throwing bombs. But at the same time, I feel like Sterling has faced more obstacles in the UFC, while Peter Yan had an easy path to the title. Peter Yan fought he fought like one good guy and then an old Uriah Faber, and then he got a title shot against an old Aldo. So I don't know. Like I feel like Sterling's path has been tougher, but maybe this is a chance for Jan to solidify himself as a true bantamweight champion, like what everyone's been wondering. But I don't know. My heart wants to pick Aljo, but again, like these dudes born in like them harsh climates. Again, like it's so hard for me to just
Yeah.
pick against them. Ah,
Do you have this
nah.
going to the finish?
No, I think this is gonna be over. I don't think this is gonna be a decision, so it might be over by round 4. Dang it. I don't know. Dang it. I'll probably go with Jan. I'll probably go with Peter Jan, but I want Sterling to win. Yeah, no, it's yeah. That's my pick. What about y'all? What are your thoughts?
I think this will be all three of the title fights are going to be explosive. Probably Izzy and Jan will be the best fight, but this one's going to be the most explosive one just because their weight class and just the way that both guys move. They're both like light on their feet. I usually go pro like when it's this clash of styles. I'm usually pro wrestler just because like if somebody's got like a dominant ground game and I don't know how Peter Yan's takedown defense is, so that's also a big factor. But I don't know too much about him. I just know he's a good striker. But usually it's the guy with the dominant wrestling background. Usually, sometimes they get caught, but usually those are the guys that I ride with, and a lot of times they're successful. And so I'm gonna go with Sterling. And I mean, I just love that he's coached by Matt Serra, who's one of the funniest guys. Now that his career is over, he's hilarious. And also, I mean, he's one of the few to ever beat one of I think just two because GSP has only lost to two guys named Matt. So the fact that he's got that guy coaching him, I think that's always a really good person to have in your corner. So I'm hoping to see Sterling win. But yeah, you can't underestimate the champ. That's the thing. Like it's hard to go against a champ, but I think it's because I'm also just pro Sterling. He's American as well. That's what I'm
It
going
seems
with.
like it's a pretty much of a toss up, the fight.
Yeah.
But from the
Yeah,
things
I mean it is champion versus number 1 contender,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
from the things I've read, it looks like Sterling's boxing and striking game is better than Peter Yan's wrestling game. Their worry is just that Sterling might gas himself out if he tries to
Fall in love with it.
to
Yeah.
to play the striking game. So I guess that's father's plan, right? What wrestling is that
Yeah.
if he sticks to that. I don't know much about it, but I mean I'm excited. I kind of want to see like a 6 submission
Yeah, same. I think
or a filthy knockout, but either one.
yeah, no, this one is definitely the biggest toss up in my opinion between the three fights.
yeah, I mean I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's tough because Sandhagen's beaten some impressive people, and his losses were to good people as well. So, yeah, that one will be fun, but I'll be a little devastated.
Nervous.
Yeah, but
Oh yeah.
even regardless of what happens, the bantamweight division is in good hands because they still
Mhm.
have Corey Sandhagen there, and then because Corey Sandhagen is gonna fight T.J. Dillashaw, and then they're gonna fight whoever wins this
That'll be
weekend.
good.
So,
That'll be good.
all right, moving on to the co-main event, featuring the greatest
The
as of
GOAT.
this moment, the greatest woman fighter of all time.
Ronda Rousey.
Shevchenko could give her a run for her money in the future, but as of right now, it's still Amanda Nunes. And she's in the featherweight, women's featherweight co-main event championship against Megan
Megan.
Anderson from New Zealand. And for me personally, I was at first, I was worried. A lot of things to be worried for me about because Amanda Nunes just had a baby, and I don't know if parenthood, has changed her and whatnot. Megan Anderson is naturally just like a bigger woman. Like she's just bigger in every aspect, and so I was worried. But then I realized this is Amanda Nunes I'm talking about. Like she's just dismantled some of the greatest fighters this sport has seen. And I was, I was kind of, swayed by the hype for a second that I was like, could it be possible? That I was like, man, Nunez is such a heavy favorite at -1,000 that, should I even take a chance in betting on Anderson? At the same time, like, nah, dude, this a wrap, bro. Like, I would be shocked if
Yeah,
Amanda Nunez loses this weekend. It will be one of the most shocking things
Mm-hmm.
ever.
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
that's what I've seen.
so just because Anderson is for real, and I do think that. Hey, I think if she catches Nunez with one good hook, I think it could be a wrap. That's how strong I think she is. But I just think that, just like my problems with other contenders, they just ain't been through the ringer
Mm-hmm.
enough.
That's what I think too.
That this is probably gonna be another Usman Gilbert Burns moment because Anderson ain't really fought that many good contenders, and when she did face someone that was good like Holly Holm, like she lost, and you know what Nunez did to Holm, um, so yeah, I mean, those are my worries, but it's still Nunez, man. And when I was watching all the interviews, all the blogs, which by the way, I became a bigger Amanda Nunez fan just within the last week or so. I was already a fan, but I just liked her more. It's just um just because she could speak English well now, so I could see more of her personality.
Mm-hmm.
So not that it was that was the only thing, but now I could appreciate it more. But nah, this is still Amanda Nunez the goat, and she knows that when you're the champion, everybody gunning for you, and so I think she still wants to solidify her legacy and can't go against Amanda Nunez, but I'm excited for that one. I mean, it's always you always want to tune in for an Amanda Nunez fight. So, what about y'all?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go with Amanda Nunez just because the significance and like the the strikes that she lands. But I mean, is it gonna be like quick? Is it gonna be a quick fight, second round?
Yeah, it might be a wrap early because I don't know. It's kind of been a while since Nunez fought too, and I mean, it's not like she's the one that gave birth, but still, parenthood,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
parenthood can still, affect you. But I don't see it going the distance. It's supposed to be 5 rounds. No way.
Yeah, no
Maybe
chance. No chance. Yeah, I
nothing.
think
Nothing over 3.
yeah, I'd agree with that. I think Nunes will probably feel her out again. It's been a minute since she's been in the ring. She'll probably have to, get her rhythm, get the feel of it again. But once she hits that, like once she's comfortable and kind of sees where Megan's coming from, I think she's gonna turn on that kill switch and just go to work. Yeah, it's Nunes again. Like Kyle said, you don't want to sell a fighter short, but I do think the experience factor you can just see in the build. I've been watching the build up and the attitude and the way that they've both been training. It's night and day. It's night and day the way that they're both preparing. And Nunes been here more than a long time, and she's beaten the great. She's been through it, and I know Megan Anderson has been a champion in other promotions, but it's a different level here. And I think it is weird sometimes with the women's fights is that all you need is like 3 or 4 wins. Like a lot of times you'll see challengers that are only 3-0, 4-0, and then they get fed to the wolves, and then they get taught a lesson. I don't know why that is a thing necessarily, but it just seems to happen a lot in both of the women's divisions. And so I'm gonna go with experience and go with the GOAT. Amanda Nunes is gonna win this. She'll probably knock her out. But Megan is known to be a savage. That's the thing. So
No,
we'll see.
I mean, I don't know. Disrespect Holly Holm like that and say that Anderson's the toughest test for Nunez. It's just because like Amanda Nunez be just taking apart her opponents. But even I don't think Amanda Nunez last fight she knocked out her opponent. So, um, So yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, when Nunez fought Spencer, like it was a unanimous decision, and so Nunez last two fights it's gone the distance. So maybe it's time. Maybe nah.
We'll
It's got to
see.
be
Yeah.
Nunez. It's got to be Nunez, and I think she will knock her out this time, just because Anderson might be willing to go bang with her some more, but it has been it's 3 fights ago since Nunez finished the fight.
Oh
But
wow.
now, huh?
Oh wow. That's
Yeah.
quite a bit.
So, but moving on to the main event, the headliner, what everyone's been, talking about. I'm not mad at it just because I guess it's the money fight. But 2 months ago or back in December, I really thought that the light heavyweight division was just gonna move forward in the Jan Blachowicz era, and that he's just gonna fight lightweight contenders, and Glover, he really deserved his shot. Like if you asked anybody, I think Glover's fought, he might have won 3 straight, and the last like two have been like top contenders.
Hmm.
So I really thought that, and with Glover being literally the number one ranked light heavyweight, I thought it was time. And plus, he ain't got lots left on the clock. So,
Yeah.
um, but this is the money fight. Adesanya's been saying that he's been wanting to move up anyways, and I mean, I don't blame him. Now would be a good time, and it's what the people wants anyways. I do think that now that Khabib ain't really you know, sticking around, or he says he's retired. I do think that the UFC's next biggest star outside of active McGregor is Adesanya. Max Holloway's still out there, and Poirier's still good out there, but Adesanya, he probably got the biggest following. Um,
He's a
after
character.
you still have John Jones still has a
Yeah.
huge
Yeah. Of
following,
course.
but John Jones hasn't fought in years,
Guess
and
the
Mhm.
so
person.
Adesanya is the poster guy right now, I would say, and I love him, but at the same time, what I was telling Clint is that Jan's. I mean, it's always gonna be the next person is always gonna be the toughest test yet, but I do truly think that Blachowicz is gonna be the toughest test because he's been in the UFC. He's
Yeah.
fought like veterans, he's fought contenders, and he's a true light heavyweight.
Yeah.
And obviously, this is gonna be. I mean, I'm pretty sure Costa might be bigger than Blachowicz, but Blachowicz, really connects, punches heavier probably. Um, and everybody is counting, not counting John out, but a lot of people think Izzy's going to finish this, and he does have the skill set. It's just I don't always want to underestimate the current champion and the veteran of the game, because Izzy's a veteran, but John's a little more seasoned. And I was telling Clint that maybe this is Adesanya's obstacle arc in his anime story. That it's been, it's been all good, and I do believe that he will be, the biggest star in the world, one day still. And he just continue, Izzy just continues to, to impress each time he steps into the octagon. But I don't know that maybe he needs like some obstacle like that he needs to come back from, or will he just continue to rack up greatness? And that's the one thing I'm kind of torn apart on, is that it's not like it. See, the thing is, either result wouldn't be shocking. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Yep.
If Izzy loses, it's like that. He'd probably question his track now based on Izzy's project. I think his ideal projection, if everything goes to his plan, is that he beats Jan for the title. He may fight for one or two title defenses of light heavyweight. Then he might relinquish both. Either he's probably for sure gonna might relinquish the middleweight, even though he says that he wants to protect that legacy, because ultimately he wants that super fight with John Jones in December.
Yeah.
And now with
That's
you
what he
know
mentioned. Yeah.
yeah, so now with Texas opening back up, they have a venue now because Uncle Dana, they have asked him today, did you talk to Texas? He said the moment Abbott said what's up, he started calling people, and Uncle Dana gonna be the first.
Yeah,
And
of course.
so
Of course.
um yeah, I think if everything goes according to Izzy's way, I think that's the trajectory. I think the super fight with John Jones is an ultimate goal. I
Is that gonna be at heavyweight?
So yeah, because John Jones is like 250 right now, and John
He
Jones.
Is he
yeah.
gonna fight at 250?
He was supposed to fight like recently, but he asked for more time because he wanted to bulk up
Oh
and
my
put on
god.
like 20, 30 more pounds. So he's huge now.
Dude, that's a lot of weight to put on. I know Izzy always talks about like cutting weight and putting on weight. It's not like hard for him. That's a
Yeah, I
lot of
mean Jones still has a big frame to I think he'll be able to handle it because he's long, man. Like he's got a enough of a frame to I think handle it. But yeah, John Jones is huge. My only question is before we go to like the predictions is if Izzy does fight John Jones at heavyweight, the thing is, will that be for the title? Because Ngannou's the one fighting for the title next month. So
Yeah, and plus people tripping. Everybody like Stipe is the most slept on champion.
yeah, 100%, 100%.
Like Stipe is the greatest heavyweight champion of all
Yeah,
time, and he should be maybe in the Mount Rushmore. And
that title
so,
fight should be happening. When is that? Next month?
mhm,
in a couple weeks, I think after this.
yeah,
And
but
so like if like regardless of that result, if Izzy wants to fight John Jones, if John Jones
I
wants
don't, I
the
don't, I
title
don't think,
next,
I don't think it'll be for the heavyweight title if
yeah,
it
that's what I'm thinking. Like
John
if
Jones.
he wants it in December, it won't be for the title
Yeah, because
unless he's
so
willing to
yeah,
wait for Jones to maybe get the title.
no, even then that wouldn't be done by December because okay, let's just say
Yeah. It's too
you know,
short.
even if no, okay, if Francis wins, that means Stipe has to get a rematch,
That's
and
true. Yeah,
so,
that's true.
and
Yeah.
if it goes back and forth, they'll have to settle that. But if Stipe wins, Francis is out of the picture. Then you put John Jones contending, but I don't think Stipe gonna fight this month, and then again later
Yeah,
this.
yeah. He's
I
probably
don't
gonna
know.
wait till the end of the year.
They'll
Yeah,
probably
so
just make another title, or like give the
yeah,
B
another
make the
BMF.
BMF
Yeah,
title.
but yeah, so I think that's Izzy's plan is to fight John Jones, and then ultimately maybe he does want to challenge, either Stipe or whoever's the heavyweight champion. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know. See, that's what I'm saying is that maybe Izzy's, he might be, trying to achieve too much. He might be trying to be like a Franklin Saint or a Wendy Bird, trying to get greedy, get
Yeah,
ahead of the
don't get
game.
greedy. You don't want to
But
ever get greedy.
but at the same time, if Izzy wins this weekend, is just gonna manifest the dang.
Yeah.
This guy's just been stating what he was gonna do this whole time. No, I can't. I gotta respect the current champ, and I'll go with
You,
Blachowicz, man.
you have
So
Blachowicz. You're going with the current champ.
yeah, I just got to. Even though, I mean, if Izzy wins, I mean, it's not like I'm gonna hate. He has all the
Yeah.
skill set, but Blachowicz, I think he's still the best that Izzy's fought, and he's just naturally a bigger guy. So it's just,
It's true.
And
I don't know. I'm being rational.
so this was my question because I've been listening to a couple of things, or I've seen that obviously Izzy's gonna come in a little light for the fight, and but Blachowicz, he's huge, and you always talk about like power, like with power, um, well, power doesn't necessarily correlate to your weight.
Yeah.
At most times, if you have power to begin with, you should have that. But I mean, what I was thinking, like what you've been saying, he's not fighting no scrub. He's fighting a champion in Blachowicz, and so it's like, is that gonna, is Izzy's weight gonna be affected at all? Is that gonna play a
So
part in this fight
yeah,
with him?
so it's interesting because obviously Jan's gonna make the 205 tomorrow, but he's most likely gonna be around 225 on fight night. And Izzy said he's gonna weigh in most likely at 193, and then on the night of the fight he'll be like 195, 197 ish. So he's giving up almost basically 30 pounds. I think I've also been, listening to other people's takes, and I don't want to like. I mean, I'm also pro Izzy, so like part of this is probably biased, but I don't want to just totally give it all to Jan just because he's bigger. But like his natural striking, regardless of how heavy he is probably he'll have the heaviest hands that Izzy has fought against. But at the same time, Izzy knows he has a game plan of just not getting touched in general, at least in the face. Now, my thing is, if Jan is able to get into the clinch and grapple a little bit, even if it's just standing, that's going to be very interesting, because the reason why people don't get into the clinch with Izzy is because he's such a skilled striker. He can stay in there. He's not going to trade shots, but he knows how to like if you close the distance, he knows how to handle that. That's why people stay away. But then now you're going to let him just tee off on your legs. It'll be very interesting if someone could do it, because he can overpower him. And I'm thinking, when I was watching that Stipe and Cormier fight, how Stipe put Cormier on the fence and just was in the clinch there, and he was doing shots. That might be your best bet against Izzy. But again, we've never seen him in that situation, so that's why I'm very unsure. I will say, yeah, it's the hands that Blachowicz has and that body kick. Remember what he did to Reyes's back? Like, that was disgusting. But again, I'm pro Izzy already, but I think Izzy is not gonna, even with all of the speculation of, will you change up your game? This guy's heavier, whatever it is. He's gonna do something similar to how Khabib approaches the sport, that he's gonna stick to his game plan. He knows what he's good at. He's gonna keep the distance. He's gonna, use his extensive kickboxing background. And I have Izzy winning. I want him to win, but at the same time, I also really like Blachowicz, especially seeing how he is now and watching his interviews. So I will be devastated for whoever loses, but ultimately,
More devastated if Izzy loses.
Yeah, I'm pulling for Izzy. That's my guy. I want him to fight Jones. It is scary though, like you said, Kyle, that he's undefeated. He's never had an obstacle. I think once GSP lost, after he had lost, and then he started winning again, you're like, well, I'll never be worried again, because I've already seen him. That's not unknown. Like, we know what it's like to see him lose. But with Izzy, he's only lost in kickboxing. And so there is an unknown of how will I be the first time to see him lose? That was like when Pacquiao lost the first time. Right? It's like, how are you going to take that?
The first time we saw, he already had 3
some
losses.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
When he lost, when he was on the top of his game.
Yeah. But it's the same thing with Izzy. I'm always going to be on edge, because like you said, he's never had that obstacle.
Yeah, no, I mean, for me,
that first Ronda loss.
Nah, I didn't. I mean that.
No, I don't like Ronda, so I enjoy
those. I know.
But yeah, no. I mean, I'll be nervous regardless for every fight, just because I don't know. It's just in me.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun to watch.
But no, I'm excited. I can't wait. But that's all of my take. I have nothing else. I just
Who
can't
normally
wait.
commentates the big.
It's Rogan and Cormier.
It varies. Sometimes Rogan's not there, but John Anik's always there.
Him too as well. But so, DC been out there. He's loving that life now.
So DC. I don't know.
Where's this fight gonna be?
In Vegas. I don't know. We might get Bisping and Paul Felder too. So
that's right.
Are there fans in this one?
No, not at the Apex.
Yeah, not at the Apex. So, but probably the next UFC event there might be fans.
It's gonna be in Texas.
Might be. It's gonna be in Houston, because Uncle Dana said he called Dallas. Dallas said no, so he's trying Houston next.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I can't wait. But
props to Dallas for saying no.
It is what it is, man. Looks like Jerry don't care. It's not just money about him.
Oh yeah, he's had fans throughout the whole NFL scene. I forgot.
Yeah.
But Jerry was like, full stadium. I don't know, man.
Yeah, for real.
It's gonna be an exciting week.